All right. Well, let me get to Batman news, because we did get some Batman news, and it was kind of interesting. I'm actually surprised, but I'm also not surprised. So I don't know how you guys feel about the Batman. Robert Pattinson one. I've done a couple videos on that movie. I've kind of talked a little bit about the movie I didn't like, especially with that third act. But news dropped that Matt Reeves is going to be working with them to do villain stuff. Now, there's already a Penguin project in the works with, believe it or not, Colin Farrell attached. Well, come to find out now, because they are trying to make James Gunn a larger part. Well, sorry, it says that right in here. So basically, it's like, the Penguin series and Arkham Asylum series, but now it's also being revealed that Reeves is working on other villains as well. So everything from Mr. Freeze to, and what I think is really fascinating, they didn't really give a whole good list on this article. Their version is pretty weak here. Yeah, let me just right-click that, open that up, see the other order. Because Scarecrow and Clayface may also be included, which I think is way more interesting than some of the other stuff. Clayface is one I think really could easily be done. Well, we've seen Sandman, like we've seen Sandman and Spider-Man. The premise is very similar, right? It's mud though instead of sand, but he can change and look like other things. I mean, the Batman animated series version of Clayface is just fantastic. Like, it's just some of those, and talk about deep and tragic storytelling. Very, very good. So let's see. This is the James Gunn article that I shared already. So let me go back and put Clayface in there, because I know that's not the article that I read when I saw this drop. Yeah, Professor Pig was the one I thought was interesting, because Professor Pig is more like a new character, not one that most people are really familiar with. Super creepy and eerie, would very, very much be, like a dark type take that can be, really, really expanded on something like HBO Max or something like that. So Professor Pig did have, I think, a little bit part in one of the Gotham seasons or whatever. But yeah. Okay, so here we go. This is THR reporter is quoted as saying, the filmmaker is in a meeting with writers and directors to build out movies. Yes, movies, not just series. Focus on Batman's rogue gallery, both established and more obscure, with characters ranging from Scarecrow, Clayface, and Professor Pig. Now, I don't know what your thoughts are on that. Here's my mixed feelings. I'm very excited as a Batman fan. I love these characters. I've loved some of the interpretations we've already seen. I enjoyed Colin Farrell as Penguin. I thought that was one of the best adaptations. And I said this is the best way, because it's like Penguin year one, right? He's like the underboss of the mafia, right? So if we see the Batman 2, and I said we needed to see the Batman will hold up well if it's a progression, right? So it's like 2 years later, 3 years later, 5 years later, whatever they decide. Batman is more advanced. The tech is better. The Batmobile is better. He's better, like all of that. But the Penguin is also established, right? He is now a boss. He now has the Iceberg Lounge. He is now running stuff, and the Batman can't get stuff on him, right? That's what can be done with Penguin. Now, the problem I have with this concept of doing movies and not series is I worry that we're going to lose the script, and it's not going to be hero versus villain. It's going to be like the Disney trap of doing villain origin stories, and villains are, we should sympathize with all of them. They're not really evil. They're kind of misunderstood, or they're abused children, and they're this and that and whatever. I don't want that, because there's no way I believe they'll stick to the characters' histories and their origins and the things that made them great and interesting over the years. So let me see, but I will say there has been some really good interpretations. So this says Warner Brothers Picture Group co-chairs Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdy spoke about the company's confidence in Matt Reeves. Okay, someone like Matt will we'll buy for him whatever he wants to do. This is them speaking to Deadline. We're making an investment from what Matt feels a pull toward in the Batman universe and otherwise. He has an open invitation to go wherever his interests take him. We'll lean into whatever Matt wants to do. In terms of writer-directors out there working in this very elaborate genre space, with everything Matt's done, from Let Me In to the Apes trilogy to the Batman, he's in a class by himself. Okay, well, we're getting a little carried away, in my opinion. The Batman wasn't that good. Let's be honest, right? Matt Reeves, I believe, is like a disciple of like the Abrams thing. That's another reason why I don't think the ending is quite right. Like, it just seems, yeah, I don't like the ending. They kind of like missed the Batman part a little bit. But we'll know more about what he's creating, because this Penguin thing's moving fast. Like, they're saying Penguin's going to be back here next year on HBO Max. And it is interesting to see Colin Farrell returning. It's a lot of makeup. It's a lot of transformation. Like I said, if they're going to make it as sort of a prequel to Batman 2, the Batman 2, that would be a very good idea. That would be the direction I'd like to go. But I really would love to see Clayface and Batman. And if they could bring this along in it, would be even better. So, Matt agrees. Clayface would be amazing. That could literally be like a horror movie. Yeah, I know. The actor's voice who played Clayface really made that character, because it wasn't so good. They really pulled off like this tragic victim thing, this situation that happened to him that can't be undone. Which, by the way, I did a video, Matt, thanks to you, my little pop perspective on American Werewolf in London. And as I rewatched it, I was just really struck by that. Like, I felt like it was like the romance, the tragic romance story of the monster. Like, he's cursed now. There's no way to undo the curse. And now that we're talking about Clayface, it's the kind of thing, right? It would be could you imagine like an old John Carpenter Clayface sort of thing or something? Try to find something that would be, very excited. Get very excited. Zach, if the villain is a white dude, he can just be evil. That's true. Well, but even then they can't stop themselves. There always has to be caveat. There always has to be more, because, they can be the faceless white dude, right? You can have like just, nondescript white dude, but if you have like a brand like the Penguin or Scarecrow, whatever, that's when it has to be different. We have to understand them more. So, the third act is like, I don't know what happened. And I don't know if you guys have ever watched my take on the Batman. I did 2 videos, one with Gray, one without. I may even talk to a friend of mine named Rob as well. I felt like cheated. Like, it was like, so they made some changes to the Waynes and the backstory to the Batman, and I didn't hate it. And they set themselves up for Hush. They like name dropped the character who becomes Hush, who's a really cool villain who comes along later. And all they had to do was make Hush in control and show him in that last scene, tweak a few things, and not have Batman out in the daylight. And we could have made it happen, and we still could have had a little bit of what they wanted with some of the action and stuff. But there are other problems with that movie. But in hindsight, that was what I thought on it. So, we'll see. Batman universe, the Batman cinematic universe, is expanding. Until we get a Robin, we're not going to be there. We got to get a Robin. We have to get, gosh, that'd be the dream. Oh, it'd be the dream. We actually get something comic book accurate. So,